Good evening. This is the Conscious Gatherers. The date is January the 11th, 2022. So, yeah, this is 111 and 222. So this is quite the date when you look at numerology. But welcome everybody to tonight's podcast. And tonight I'm joined here by Royce, and Terry has been involved in many other projects, and so he will not be joining us tonight, and it may not for quite a while. We're hoping that Terry comes back, because I know he has a lot to offer us all, and we definitely appreciate him. But I'm not sure when that's going to be or if, but it depends upon what Terry's got going. And right now, I think his basket's pretty full. So welcome and to 2022.
Hello, everybody.
All right, thank you, Royce. All right, well, tonight's episode, we're going to be discussing a little bit more about ourselves and a little deeper patterning, or there's other terminology that we can use, but things that we want to share, things that have been coming forth, and to our consciousness, either tonight or in the last few days. And then I even was checking on something that I received quite a few years ago that is very appropriate for today as to what we are going through. I do know that some people are having all kinds of interesting experiences. Leave it at that, and if they're having a little bit of a hard time or not, and so that's one of the things we're going to touch upon today to assist everybody through the processes that we are going through. So anyway, let's just get to it. And one thing I wanted to start out with here is that we are going through, and we have talked about this in some of our other episodes, and that is going through the Photon Belt or the null zone. I mentioned that not too long ago, I think 2 or 3 episodes ago, really not sure when, but we're in it, guys. And I had asked some questions recently. This is this January, about the higher energies directed at this earth. And so not only we're in the null zone, or into this higher spark plug, if you use that word, we're in the spark in the plug. And so we're hit with these wonderful higher energy frequencies. And so what happens when we do go through this, it brings up a lot of the old stuff to be let go of. So anyway, we're in it, guys. So not only Earth, it's our whole solar system moving through these energy bursts. And it does affect our physicality and our emotional state. It affects all parts of ourselves. So be aware of that.
And make sure that you nourish yourself in a balanced way, and get all of the micronutrients that you need, because it's very important, not just for the physical, but for the emotional body.
Yeah. Yep. Because we're definitely seeing there's so much going on in this earth right now, and there's so much going on. We always say behind the scenes, which I do believe there are, and some of it's right in front of us. All we do is have to look, and it's there for everybody to see. Some of us are feeling very tired, and if you are feeling tired, please rest. But to fight it, it does not help you to fight tiredness. Give yourself a break, because when you do that, if you even lay down for 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it may be, you'll find that you work so much better if you are working, and you get things done much faster.
Yeah, recharges your batteries.
There you go. So do remember that. Some of you may be feeling a little more hyped up. Now, remember that old visions are being recognized as such. That is the old paradigm matrix, whatever you want to call it. It's releasing its hold on you. Shake it off if it doesn't serve you. If you're uncomfortable, take a look at what you are being shown. And so if it's something that's in this lifetime or even another lifetime, take a look at why it is there, because it's something that you need to release. And it doesn't have to be that hard. And if it's uncomfortable, there are things you can do to let it go, because it serves you not. So if it's uncomfortable, that means it's not serving you anymore. But if it continues to be in your face, and that may happen, and then realize why it's there. Is it something that is really true to your being, or is it something that somebody else said?
Yeah, I've experienced that, and it's amazing how someone else's words can really go deep and grab a hold of you, and it can be just totally bogus stuff. But if you buy into it, it anchors in, and there you are,
And what are you going to do? You're going to keep that anchor there, or are you going to drop that?
That's right.
And get rid of that old baggage? Because again, does it really serve you? No, it's not real.
That's right.
It's BS.
Not real.
It's not real. We talked about what's real and what's not real, and what's real or what's real. So, think about that. So let it go if it's not peaceful once you realize why it's there. So that's how you really truly know what serves you, and you utilize your own inner guidance, because it is you. And so, again, people may call it God, some may call it Jesus, may call it whatever name you want to give it. It doesn't even have to have a name.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, that's your inner guidance, and it's you. So what once was unconscious or even subconscious is now or is becoming fully conscious. So that is happening now. So what you want to take forward is your choice, and no one can do that for you. There's, again, no savior out there that's going to save you from your own responsibilities. They are yours, and it doesn't have to be scary. It can actually be very freeing if you allow that to be. So are you afraid of yourself? Think about that. If you are, then there are things to take a look at within, and you can write them down. And if something that is not making you feel comfortable, you see it for what it is, again, bogus, then write it down on a piece of paper and burn it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I saw a plaque for a desk one time, and I just forgot what it was.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, did you ever do that?
Yes.
Oh my, it just flew right away. It might come back.
All right. That happens too in this energy. Anyways,
funny.
All right. But we do remember, all inner knowing will come forth. So breathe through these processes that you're going through. And if it helps to meditate on them, then go right ahead and do that. But don't fight them. The more you fight them, the more they're going to come up.
I just got it back.
All right.
What would you do if you knew you could not fail?
Ooh.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
And that's the truth of the matter. We can't fail. All we have to do is just make an effort.
Yeah.
Keep on making those efforts.
Exactly. And if it takes a little longer, so what?
Yeah, so what?
You cannot fail.
Yeah.
Remember, we're these incredible beings. So remember, rejoice through all of this stuff. Be true to yourself, but always allow others to do the same. And the more we do this, we're going to realize our heightened abilities. Now, we've talked about this in previous episodes, and I'm bringing that back up again. We're learning that we are energy, always in motion with the thoughts of our being. And we talked about a couple of weeks ago, Manifest 2022, that talked about our thoughts. Our thoughts become things. We are energy waves and particles always conversing with one another. And we've developed these matrices to build this incredible cage of biology. Yet, we're not contained in this biology.
I find that to be exciting.
Yeah.
And so truthful.
Think about that. Now, the cages are open for our biology to morph, travel, create, in a whole other way of being. So we're noting the changes that are happening within our bodies. We just talked about that. And that means our physical, emotional bodies, all mental bodies, they're all connected. So we're reconnecting the energy waves and particles of our higher dimensional selves. And we're doing this right along with Gaia. We talked about Gaia as being the soul of the earth. We give it a name. Some people call it Terra or the new Terra, the star of On. There's been other words that have been given to this planet. And I still use the word Gaia, the name Gaia, and it is actually a living being. So we're all alive. Everything's alive.
Mm-hmm.
So Gaia is moving and growing light within her belly also. And she's manifesting her new capabilities within her own matrix, coupled with all of humanity. Again, we're doing this all together. And we have such exciting times that we're going through, even though some of you may question that. But when you really look at it, it's pretty incredible of what we're releasing, what we're seeing, and all these mechanisms trying to control us. And we're saying, no, we're not going to let this happen. And it's okay. Do we have to comply? No. Does our life depend on it? Usually not. So just think about that, whatever's for your highest good. So see your own light as you look within your mirrors. It's physical, it's non-physical. It's really God within. It's shining right through us, if you want to use those words. And so, our sun still shines brightly in our skies, right? So we can see the light. So remember, we are that too. We can see the own light within us. So just remember that more information that is within will rise up. That knowingness will rise up within us, and we're all changing and morphing together.
That's the name of the game, change. We have to be adaptable, and we are very adaptable beings. If we weren't, we would not be here now, because the earth has gone through some mighty big shifts, and we're still here.
Exactly.
And Bev is pointing her finger at me, so I think that means it's time for me to read what I got today. So I'll share that with you now. Listen, and your heart will lead you not only forward, but upward along your path, along your journey. Each journey is diverse, each path tailor-made. It is your contribution to the whole, your part to play in the story of mankind. Look at a staircase. There is but one direction to go, even though it looks like you would go up or down. Either way brings enlightenment for the seeker, eager to learn. For in the learning, the end result is always wisdom, for he who knows how to distill the essence from the experience, the light from out of the darkness, the good from all that has been. For was it not written that God looked upon all that he had created and called it good? And so it is. With purpose and with forethought, create your days anew. Make your life a beautiful expression of joy. Separate the night from the day. Distill the good from all that has been. Raise up your own thoughts, and you raise up the world. For this staircase, this experience, leads but one way, and that way is the way of truth. All the lies that have ever been told are empty promises leading nowhere. They are illusions, painted with disappearing ink. Open your eyes and your hearts, and the truth will be all that is real. And so, when you find your feet walking what appears to be down a flight of stairs, those stairs are but a series of steps along a journey of your own making from that which was declared as good. The destination, well, where would you have that to be?
Wow. Thank you. So we're creating, and the destination. It doesn't mean there's going to be one destination.
That's right.
We can have a multitude of destinations. We've talked numerous times about what is our passions. What really feeds you?
Yeah. What stirs you up? What gives you joy?
Exactly. So when you do that, and you feel great about it, correct? And so then if everybody did that, can you imagine what this world would be? And we're starting to recognize that. Not everybody wants to be a fireman. Not everybody wants to be a nurse or a doctor or and there are others that do. Astronaut. The endless. Our abilities are incredible. We just have to realize that. And we're awakening to those abilities. The more that we're in that power of ourselves, the more, I mentioned about heightened abilities, the more abilities that we're going to have. And I think they're going to be, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, the things that are being realized right now by these kids that are coming in, doing incredible things, showing us what capabilities have been within us the entire time, but we allowed ourselves to be squelched by one thing or another, and that doesn't really matter anymore.
It doesn't. We played the game.
Yeah,
I call it a game. We played those games. Yep. Okay, what's it like to feel separate from Creator? That's our game. That's the so-called great experiment that we've talked about in many of our episodes. It's like, okay, what's it like feeling separate when we're really not?
Yeah. What can you do if you know you can't fail?
There you go.
What can you possibly do? Endless possibilities.
Yeah. You've talked about different technologies, and that doesn't mean AI per se, because it's already we're built in. It's all built in. Every molecule and atom of our bodies it's all in our genetic codes. Again, it's just and our strands, genetic strands are opening up. We've had 12, correct?
And so much there that they thought was junk, they're finding out more and more what's hidden there. Incredible.
Yes.
That's what we are. Incredible.
Talk about walking on water. We can do that, walking through walls. A lot of beings do that. And, we know there's a lot of our I call them ET friends. I don't know if they like to be called ETs, but our off-world or on-world friends that may look a little bit different to us than we do as humans. But some of the capabilities they have is them walking through the walls. And some people have memories of doing so, especially little children. You realize it doesn't quite work in this so-called third dimensional reality or even fourth dimensional reality that it kind of hurts when you walk into a wall. So, or jump off a cliff when you feel like you're going to fly. But we're going to be able, our abilities are going to be all there. They are already, but we're not recognizing that. And so as we're raising our frequency, and to raise the frequency is really to be in that joy and be into what we love to do. And so the more that we do that, the more excitement that we spread out there, so-called out there, and then it enables another to do it, and
it's catching.
It's catching. Yeah.
What we do here in this room is already, the ramifications of it are already being felt on the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
And because it's all one thing, one. We're not separate.
Well, but we're each unique.
That's right.
And
unique expressions of
yes.
one thing.
Yes. We each have our own so-called place, our own abilities. And somebody else has their abilities, and then you might combine your abilities. And here, Royce and I are talking, and we're combining our thoughts as we're sitting here, and I'm getting all excited, as you can tell, because I start talking a little faster. So, and that happens with excitement. But to me, it's very exciting. It's like, come on, guys, and if you are having again a hard time, it's like, okay, what's going on there? So it's like,
yeah, don't be afraid to look at it.
Exactly.
Find out what it is. Maybe it's you, maybe it's not.
Yeah.
But take a look. And it may be a lot more simple than what you think.
It usually is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's something that comes out that you're not real proud of, so what? You cannot fail.
That's right.
There's no such thing. So just take a look through your heart. And that's a higher energy center of the body, that heart chakra, and your solar plexus, and then your brain goes into action when things come through the heart, and so you're already operating on a higher dimensional level, allowing that within your body, and that becomes your life. But just looking at your own responsibilities, and when you start looking at that, it's freedom.
Yeah.
It's not scary. Nobody can, tell me what to do unless I ask. If they have any suggestions. For instance, when I'm working the computer, like, okay, I'm not sure what to do here. And you ask questions, sometimes I get a little stubborn and think I know what I'm doing and find out I don't. But that's okay. It's like, all right, you're going to get that, Bev, or you're going to be stubborn enough to not listen. And so, you learn to listen because it's the way you get things done. And people are there to assist. And they're excited to assist. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people have a hard time asking. I have to admit, I'm one of those.
Me too. That's been a sad pattern.
Yeah.
But I'm learning how to get over it.
Yes, it's like, So, talk about ego. I mean, that's ego. It's like, oh, yeah, you're right. When I say it that way, it's like an ouch. But it's true. I want to help assist other people, when they ask, or I may suggest something. If they, take it, fine. If they don't, so be it.
Yeah.
I'm not offended by that whatsoever anymore. Used to be, because I thought I knew better.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And, yeah. So, anyway, just interesting when you start looking at all these different things in our lives and, coming out of the old ego self and realizing it's so much grander than that. And then you let the ego behind because the ego is no longer the master. It's the supports. And that's part of our makeup in the human biology. So. Yeah, do we have any listeners tonight that have any questions? Yeah, okay. Do we have any listeners tonight? We appreciate you coming on.
Okay, then.
All right. Well, if you do, because I felt that I heard somebody come in, but if not, so be it. Anything else that you would like to add?
I don't think so.
Just remember, we're going through these times, and yes, we're going to see changes, and we talked about this in previous episodes, but our governmental systems are changing worldwide, and they're going to continue changing.
Has to. The world is changing. Everything is changing. It has to. That is progress.
Yeah. And, yes, we've had these these control mechanisms that we've bought into and didn't even realize we were under these controls, but now we're starting to see them. And right now it's in our face.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how can you miss this now? And just ask, are these control mechanisms there for my highest good, or is that what they're telling me? And so, this, again, we brought this up in previous episodes, but I don't know how much, to talk about it for people to understand. And they talk about the Great Awakening, and it's that Great Awakening is now you're finding out that you're in part of this control structure, and we're saying no more, and then it goes deeper and deeper and deeper because of what we bought into. But now we're seeing it more and more and more, and it's okay. And I do use Holy S often. I won't say it, but anyway, it's like, oh my God, that's right. Look what I bought into, and that's a bunch of BS, and I'm not doing that anymore. So, things that you once complied with, you may no longer want to comply, and saying, okay, this is for my highest good. Do you think they know more than I do? In some circumstances, yes, but you weigh that, and you got to feel what's truth for you. Remember, what's true for one person may not be true for another. Another person may need to still go through that experience. They're not ready to take that full responsibility. But again, this is not a judgment, and that's a whole other word, because through these processes we have a tendency to judge another, and we have absolutely no right to do that.
Yeah, true.
So, but do keep in mind as things are being revealed, and this is the time of the great revelation. From my understanding, there's still a lot more coming out this month of January into March. And I know last time I talked about dancing in the streets, and talked about the greatest show on earth, which is happening now. Are we dancing on the streets? Many of us, some people are. But I think we're going to feel that uprising within us. And talking about the stairway, is it going to go up or down? It really doesn't matter. It's just another path.
Step along the way.
There you go. So it's all there. It's all for us to embrace our beautiful selves.
Mm-hmm.
It's time we do that. So, and whatever time means to you, so we can keep track of our experiences. So, space-time is changing, and it's really a hard concept to comprehend, but it's that's the way it is. I don't know how else to say that. Yeah. So, anything else you want to talk about tonight?
I think I said all that I wanted to say. I think I said all I wanted to say.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us this evening. Our next episode is going to be on January the 25th. And I think a lot of exciting things are going to happen between then and now. But really take a look deep within yourself, within your heart, and start having fun. Last episode we talked about using your fine china and or crystal, whatever it may be, and we're getting some people are saying, yeah, I'm wearing my good jewelry now. It's like, well, yeah, please do that. Have a fine, use your fine china, have a glass of wine or whatever if you like wine. But it's like
whatever it is that's special to you.
Yeah, and it may
do it now.
Do it now. It may be one day you don't feel like it, the next day you might feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
And last night I had a glass of wine. It was delicious. All of a sudden I was in the mood, so I did. So along with my dinner. So it's it's like there's nobody judging you except you.
Yeah.
And just remember that. And if somebody else feels a little differently and judges you, that's their issue. It's not yours.
Yeah.
So don't make it your issue.
Yeah.
So, and if it is that deep, let it go. If you need to write it down, burn it. Mm-hmm. But let it go. And it's like, if it keeps popping up, again, look at it for what it is. So, and that's somebody else's judgment on you, and it's none of your business. I almost said it. There you go. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us this evening, and we enjoyed our episodes because this is so important right now. And, that self-responsibility, it's happening, and the world is changing, and I see it's a beautiful world, even though we're like, what the heck? So, that it is morphing into this absolutely wonderful, wonderful planet. And yes, we do have a lot of off-world friends. We haven't really gotten into that conversation, and maybe we'll do that at another episode, because we really haven't gone there yet. So bring it up now. So, and any of you have any experiences that those that are listening, any experiences that you want to share, we'd love to hear from you too. So until 2 weeks from tonight, we wish you all lots of love, joy, peace, prosperity.
Okay, my darling friends, here we are, the year 2022. What a wonderful work you are doing, even when you think you aren't. Even when you think you're not doing one thing to make this a better place, you are, simply by being here on this beautiful planet. And thank you for staying, for contributing, for sharing your beauty with all of us now. I love you.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.